How is it going, YouTube? Here's a quick video of me talking about my 5 favorite things that I love about this car and 5 things that are quite annoying and hate about it. I hope you enjoy, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Alright, so the very first thing I love about this car is the manual transmission. It is very easy to drive, easy to shift, clutch is forgiving. I think this would be a great car for somebody to learn how to drive manual. It's quite intuitive in terms of finding which gear you're in, and it's like super easy to just get going at a light or something. The clutch is very light and forgiving, so it wouldn't be a bad car to daily drive, even if you're encountering a lot of traffic. And it does have some pickup to it. And speaking of pickup on the car, 3rd gear, 4th gear. This leads us into the second thing I love about this car, which is the engine. It is the smaller one, the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine. 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th, 5th. Alright, even though it is a approximately 4,200 pound car, it does not feel slow. It gets up to speed relatively quick for such a heavy car with the 4-cylinder engine. I think anyone could appreciate the power that this car makes and cannot complain about necessarily needing more, especially if it is a daily driver. I'm gonna go right behind my seat in the position that I drive in. So this is one of my favorites about it, that once you actually get through that little gap and you make it back here, there's plenty of knee room. This is me all the way back with my back against the seat, and look at this space. There's plenty of knee room. It's not a small back seat. It's actually pretty comfortable. You have a cup holder, you have plenty of leg room, and yeah, it's not bad at all here. The 4th thing that I really like about and love about this car, especially since I've been driving to work in the morning and the sun is in my face for half the drive, is this sun visor. This sun visor is like incredible compared to other cars. It is very, very wide, and it drops down to, I would say, past the halfway point of your windshield. So this is about where my eye level is. Even if the sun was like setting or just sunrise, like you're catching the sunrise, you would be able to block out those rays from going straight into your eyes. It is one thing that I wish my Maverick had, a longer, larger sun visor, since in the Maverick you kind of have to stand up straight in order for it to cover the sun. And just to add another thing compared to my Maverick, the other thing that I really like is the wireless Apple Carplay, and the fact that it does not glitch out as much as the Maverick does. In the Maverick, sometimes I would start the car, plug in my phone, and the phone would never connect to the car. And in this one, I've never ever had an issue with it so far, so hopefully it will stay this way. But also another plus to the Bronco compared to the Maverick. Alright, so then the last thing that I love about this car, even though it is dirty, I love the way it looks. Everything is black and red, even though I don't think there's a special package for that or anything, except the wheels, but most people would change those. There are no chrome accents around the doors or the door trims. Everything is nice 2-color toned, and it just looks great overall. The 2-door makes it look more, I don't even know, aggressive, off-roady, more fun than the 4-door ones. And yeah, just overall, it is a great looking vehicle. and it drives really well. So I'm impressed with how well it goes over bumps and how many people just look at you when you drive it. I was not expecting and I did not want the attention that this car, maybe because it's also red, but every time I drive it and I pull up to next to somebody, they're looking, they're staring, maybe because it's a new vehicle, but it does get a lot of attention, and it's not something that I really care about. So I think everybody just likes the way it looks. I don't think there are many people who hate the design of it. And yeah, it kind of has like an old school element to it, but in a modernly built way. So good job Ford on the design. Alright guys, now for the first thing that I hate about this car is the wind noise. I'm not sure if you could hear it, but it sounds like somewhere in this area, in the middle area. Oh, hold on, we got a cop right around the corner. Let's see if he is still there. By the way, if you're not using Waze, yep, he's there. I'll show you. If you are not using Waze when you're traveling anywhere, right there, you are missing out, and you're probably getting a lot of tickets. But anyway, the first thing that I hate is the wind noise, which is, I hope you can hear that, right where the two hardtop pieces meet. It sounds like there's a constant gap or something, and it is very loud at anything above 70 miles an hour. It starts being noticeable at anything above like 45. So if you have a job where you commute a lot, you're probably going to be doing speeds over 45 miles an hour most of the time, and it gets really loud. I get it, it's a convertible, as to say. It's not supposed to be as quiet and as refined as like a sedan or something with like a hard roof. However, that little hissing noise, I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up or not. That little constant hissing noise doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like the wind should go through that hole or whatever that is. The second thing that I hate about this car is that I get it that the doors don't have frames, so the window is not going to be as sturdy and still. But if you put the window down on the highway, especially in the summer, and you're trying to drive with it open, it has such a big vibration that when you're holding your elbow or your arm on the armrest, the whole door shakes from this vibration. Like, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the window shakes very aggressively. Let me see if we can get a better angle at it. And now I'm only doing 68, but anything over 70, it's like an aggressive shake. Obviously, the more you put it down, the better it gets, but the more you put it down, the wind circulation throughout the car is kind of terrible. It buffers a lot, and it just hits you in weird ways. Alright, the third thing that I hate about this car, obviously it's a two-door, is the space you get when you just recline the seat. Why couldn't they make this go lower a little bit? And even when you pull it all the way out, look at that little gap that there is. I think this is the smallest amount of space I've seen in a two-door vehicle. But let me show you what I mean by that, how hard it is to get in. It is quite the struggle to get in the back seat, and I'm not a very big person. However, it's not as practical as, you would want it to be, especially if you are looking to buy it and you have kids or friends that you're going to be driving around a lot and you're always going to have to put somebody in the back seat. It's probably not the best car for you. All right, the fourth thing I believe it is that I hate about this car is the cup holders. So you can see here, it is not very wide, which is fine. However, it's wide enough that if you have a full water bottle and you have to brake, it typically, like the water bottle, it's not deep enough. And you can see it's very, very tiny. It's not deep enough for the water bottle not to fly out of the cup holder. Or if you have like one of those skinny Red Bull cans or any other cans in that shape, I've had one Red Bull can that when I had to brake really hard, it literally just flew out and fell to the feet of the passenger. So the only thing I suggest they would do is like how the Maverick, inside the cup holders, they have the pokey 3 little claws that have a spring attached to them. So when you put something in there, they like stretch out and hold your drink in place. Because these cup holders are just some holes and everything. If it's not perfectly fit and shaped to that, they will move around and potentially fall out. And you can't really, I guess you could put something in here in the door, but I still don't think, it's very, very tiny as well. And I don't think it will hold anything too securely. I feel like the Maverick is designed way better on the interior in terms of usability. And the last thing that I hate about it is that when you have the car locked, which I just locked it, it doesn't have the keypad, which I get it that the door is removable for off-road use and whatever you want to do with it, but maybe put it on the side or something. You have a wireless, not wireless, but like keyless start in a base model Bronco. However, you don't have the keypad that the Maverick has to unlock and lock the doors. And it's also not, like you can't, if it's locked, it doesn't have keyless entry. So I'm just confused on that decision on whoever made it. Like, yeah, I have the keys in my pocket, but I need to get to them to get into the car, to not need them to start the car and get moving, which is kind of like stupid. But with the Maverick, at least, you don't even have to put the keypad on the Maverick, because you need to get the keys out to start the car, unless maybe you have the Lariat trim, which I'm not sure about. However, why put the keypad on that and not on this car when you need to get your key out to start the Maverick, and you don't need to get your key out or get to the key to operate this car? So yeah, just a little inconvenience, but nothing that you can't get over.